Welcome to episode 5 of Craig and Drew Build a Vintage Racing Sidecar. I'm Craig. I'm not Craig.
And I'm Drew.
I think it's our thing to goof up the beginning. Welcome to episode 5 of Craig and Drew Build a Vintage Racing Sidecar. I'm Drew from Hellbenders Racing Team.
And I'm Craig from RDH Garage.
And we're here to mess this up. And bought a 1,500 mile engine, and everything we've seen so far kind of supports the fact that it was at least a very low mile engine.
And we made sure that the engine rotated. Sonny said he checked it out. We also did a visual and checked it out.
Yeah, so the pistons were free, but when we pulled the cylinders off, we found a little bit of rust on the cylinder walls, and the piston rings didn't look great. You know, we're racing it, a lot of stress on it.
They were kind of stuck on the piston.
Yeah, it looks like they were stuck a little bit, at least at one time. Off camera, I went ahead and honed the piston cylinders. I think that's where we are today.
Yeah. So we're going to put the whole top end back together and replace all the seals, the push rod seals, and the base gasket, and gasket sealer, and the head gasket.
Good. We were getting close. Yeah. Close to done.
Here we are putting some gasket sealer on the base. A very thin coat. Make sure we cover it all, but very thin, very thin. Okay, once we get it off, let's get it on first. And that way. And now we put the cylinder on the studs a little bit first.
Left arrow this way, but I don't remember which side I put that ring in.
Right here.
Okay, so it's probably going to go this way. That's my best guess of what my cryptic markings mean.
I'll need some kind of wrench from this.
What size?
I'm guessing like 14, but oops. This is reverse thread, so it gets a little tricky. Which way do I turn this? It's up. It's up to the circlip. Stick it in. So now we have to get the circlip in here. This is the one. I had to feel it to remember. I'm sure you did say.
Make sure that the hole isn't in the divot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it. Covers that little divot with a solid piece. Here's the circlip. So we're going to kind of put it offset a little bit beside the divot.
So you have 2 shots at this.
I only need one. Got it.
Oh, wow.
I had my thumb there kind of making sure the side didn't come out. And then I just kind of pried underneath the notch to get this side on. Oh, yeah, it wasn't in the whole way, so that's good I did that. This last part wasn't inside the groove, which would have been a real major issue. But now it's in.
Looks good.
Press everything in. We're going to make sure that these O-rings are going on and making sure they're staying in the recessed area. The back O-rings, that's very important. If you got them a little offset, it's going to pinch those O-rings and you're going to have a terrible leak. Don't ask me how I know. Push it on. Now we're going to have to turn these things, like you said, remember?
Yep.
So this might be a real challenge. I don't know why that frame's so close. On the Slash 5 I had a little bit of an issue where the studs weren't long enough. We'll put the head gasket on, put it on, and see if we have enough thread.
Now, is there a direction?
So here's the head gasket, and it is directional. As you can see, this bottom hole is a little offset. There's a little less space on this side than there is on the right side. If you kind of look at your cylinder, it's the same. There's a little more space on the right side than on the left. And now we're going to put it on. And these two holes line up, and then this one was the one that was a little offset. That's, you want to make sure that's all clear.
Oh, spark plug goes down. That's how we tell this. Is that right?
Spark plug goes up.
Spark plug goes up.
Heads with the spark plug up and the exhaust spigot to the front. We'll see what happens here. Put this on. So yeah, see how I don't have enough thread? Cylinder on, but the push rod seals are not going into the engine. I'm going to use the Craig method here, pushing the push rod seals in by using the head, with the head gasket behind it, of course. And I made these little shims out of electrical conduit, and I have washers on just to protect, you know, the engine, and another washer on the other side. I'm going to tighten the whole head on enough to push the whole cylinder inside where the push rod seals suck into the ports. So you want to make sure it's going on straight. You know, you don't want to cock anything as you're torquing it down. I'm kind of watching the gap up here a little bit, and also watching the studs, how much stud I have sticking out. See how you can see the gap is closing. Push rods are going inside.
Okay, true confessions time. When Craig was pulling this off, I wasn't holding it very tight while we zip tied it, and if you can see, there's a gap here where this is pulled out a little bit. So our concern is that there's a bunch of little bearings in here, and if it comes all the way out, those bearings are going to drop. We're going to try to finagle that back in there. He is.
I'm going to look at it.
I'm going to look at him looking at it. So at any rate, I was thinking just kind of grind it back and forth and see if the bearings reseat.
Hey, look at that. That's good. We're good.
So apparently Craig's magic touch fixed it, because he cut the zip ties and it worked its way back on. All this setting up the tray so we didn't drop bearings and worrying, not needed.
Well, first we have to put the push rod tubes in, so I'll brace them in.
Both or just the one?
Oh, you can do both, yeah. Just make sure they're aiming the right way. Good, thank you.
Carefully handing the rocker box to Craig so it doesn't loosen up again.
There we go. We have to make sure it's on the right side.
Correct side.
I'm going to put this on. Make sure that the push rod is going up in this little cup. The adjustment. I just kind of spin it a little. Just snug them up a little, and then we'll do the other one.
Remember, all this drama can be avoided if you just hold them tight when you're zip tying it.
Line up these holes. Put this on. Okay, and then make sure again the push rod goes up inside this cup. And then just start tightening. Okay. No, that's too tight. See, this doesn't move now. Make sure that they move. We'll have to loosen them. Maybe we just snug them first and then start torquing.
Okay.
How's that? That's too tight. I don't know what's going on. I guess, we need to put it on top dead center of the other.
Let's loosen it so that we're not pushing against the rods.
There we go. That should do it. Now they should be loose. So we're tightening the head studs now. We want to make sure that the rockers are loose enough that the rocker arm moves, but not too loose where it rattles around. You don't want a whole lot of up and down movement like this, but you want to be able to do this. You want to hold it like around the rockers, but not on this pin. You kind of have to grip it like this while Andrew tightens. So Andrew's just going to snug them up, and then we're going to test it out. Try that now. Yes, feel that. As long as it moves nicely, but there's no up
No
and
up
down.
and down. Okay.
You feel that?
Good.
Okay. Okay, same thing with the other side. Not a whole lot of up and down. That's good.
Okay.
You also want to make sure that the push rods look like they're centered in the holes. Now
Torque. Okay. So do we need to check this again?
You can double check. Maybe the first torque.
I can't remember which ones I started with.
So you have to say good, good.
Alrighty.
I like it.
All right, energy's up. Here we go. Looks like an engine again. Starting to get there.
Yes, sir.
Now, Brooks says that you should tighten the head bolts 24 hours after you torque them. So just go back through and make sure they didn't come a little bit loose. Probably do that tomorrow. And then I guess Craig and I are on to the next stages, which is...
Yeah, transmission external seals and the final drive full seal, which is a pretty big job.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
A little better?
Yeah. That's kind of funny, actually.